dusting off all the rust. It's been a while. Haven't been making videos a lot. But you know what? It's Captain America! Captain America! Captain America! Ah! Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to MaffmanJones Movie Reviews. I'm your host, John Maffio, and today's featured review is the original Marvel Studios Captain America film, The First Avenger, which was released in 2011, directed by Joe Johnston, starring the hot, amazing, sexy Chris Evans. I definitely don't have a crush on Chris Evans. I don't. You never asked if I had a crush, but I'm just telling you I don't. So, just go with it. In anticipation for Captain America Civil War, I wanted to do something a little fun and just go back in time to review the first two Captain America movies again. I did review Captain America Winter Soldier. You can see that review down below, but I'm going to rewatch it and then post my new thoughts on it, if I have any new thoughts on it, tomorrow. But for now, you're going to get First Avenger. It's a fun movie. It's good. Is it special? Not particularly, but it's very adventurous, and it has a vibe. It has a particular vibe that really resonates with me. I'm a big Indiana Jones guy, and in a lot of instances, this film has those sweet taste buds. It takes place in the 1940s during World War II. It's a nice period piece. There are a couple things that really did bother me, though, watching it now. The effects of Chris Evans looking like a little scrawny kid doesn't really hold up all that well. The moment when he becomes Captain America, where he's half naked and his pecs are like popping out of his body, it really looks impressive. It really does have an impact, and it does speak to the visual effects of when he is scrawny. But there are a lot of shots when he is scrawny where it looks really bad. When he's moving around his environment, you could see like this weird thing going on with the body, and it just takes you out of the movie. As much as I am a fan of Alan Silvestri's score in this movie, the main theme and a lot of the themes that he creates for this movie are amazing, and I love listening to it on the down low all the time. But there are a couple moments where it's like, alright, you don't have to be that insane right now. Some of the ways they tell the story and the way the direction goes kind of don't sit well with me. Things just happen and you're not explained. There's one moment, there's a whole montage where basically Captain America and the Howling Commandos go through a bunch of missions. You see little glimpses of things that could be interesting, but you don't get much of it. It's like 5 minutes, and it takes place over a long time, apparently. And that you could have a whole bunch of movies just set in those time periods, but they basically skip over all that to get to the moment where he becomes a popsicle, or a capsicle as Tony Stark calls it, and we can get to our Avengers movie. For the most part, I really enjoy the story in Captain America. I really enjoy the idea of this kid who really wants to fight for his country, but he can't. But because he's so strong-hearted, he's given a chance. And you know what? For being the very kind soul that he is given that chance. But then you get into the point where he doesn't become a soldier at first. He actually just becomes a big propaganda piece to sell bonds. And that was a really Star Spangled Man, that song and that whole sequence. Love it. I really do like the relationship, how it begins in this film with Bucky Barnes and Steve Rogers. The chemistry between the actors is really good. Agent Carter, played by Haley Atwell, is really good too. She has a strong commanding presence, and she's a female heroine for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You buy into her platonic/romantic towards the end relationship with Steve Rogers. Hugo Weaving as Red Skull is great, but I just don't think he's given that much to do as an actor. Like, there are some moments where it's like really cool. I do enjoy the idea of them hiding his facade for like the first half of the movie until he finally gets like the part where he has to rip off his human rubber mask. But the makeup is kind of silly. So the fact that they try to build him up to be this really menacing presence to then just make him, he kind of looks silly. It doesn't really pay off all that well. But the makeup design for Red Skull is still pretty cool, and the performance is good enough to service the story. But I feel like they could have done so much more with the character. There's a lot of moments I really enjoy in the movie, but if I want to specify 3 particular moments, the first moment is after Captain America infiltrates the Hydra base and arrives back on the American base with all the soldiers that he rescued. And you got everybody like surrounding Captain America because he saved all their lives. To paraphrase Bucky, he says something like, "Get a load of Captain America," and everybody just starts applauding. And then Agent Carter and Steve Rogers had this little moment where they eye to eye, and the music swells in the background. That scene. The next scene is when Steve Rogers is fighting the Hydra soldiers on the bomber towards the end of the movie, and he's fighting 2 Hydra soldiers, and they get on one of the bombs. The bomb takes off, it goes into the sky, and you got Captain America hanging on for dear life on top of the bomber, trying to fight a Hydra soldier who is next to him, as well as the Hydra agent that is actually flying the nuclear bomber. Right after that, you get the moment where the Hydra agent goes flying up, straight up, and then you got the other Hydra agent going through the propeller, and you get that gory moment where the blood just splatters everywhere in the sky. And then you got Captain America trying to get back to the bomber because he has to throw the Hydra agent out. That moment, that whole part is like my favorite part of the whole movie because it's so much fun. And then my final moment is the sacrifice of Captain America because it's a really well done scene. I do want to make the argument also that the supposed death of Bucky Barnes really lazily done here. Even though you kind of, if you know the comics, you know he comes back for Winter Soldier. But if you don't, if you're just watching the movie for a compelling story, it's a really anticlimactic way to kill a character who's supposed to be Steve Rogers' best friend. He just falls from the train, and it's just like, oh, well, moving on. But overall, I thought I wasn't going to like it as much. However, after watching it, I do still agree with a lot of my original sentiments that Captain America the First Avenger is a really fun, good movie. It's not great, but it's got a lot of great moments. The story is so-so, but the aesthetic of the period piece that is World War II is really well done. The acting is really well done for the most part. It's just the screenplay and the story where a lot of the faults come into play. In terms of solo films, I think this is right up there with Iron Man 1 for me. I enjoy it just as much, if not more so, than the original Iron Man. Am I biased because I've been Team Cap for most of my entire life? Maybe, but I really do. I try my best to put my bias aside and just watch the movie for what it was, and I can't lie, I really enjoyed it from beginning to end. It's a very entertaining movie. So I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's darn good Applebee's meal. Now I want to know from you guys, what do you think of Captain America the First Avenger? Do you like it more or less than Winter Soldier? And what are your favorite moments from the movie, or least favorite moments? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and check out my Facebook and Twitter accounts down there. I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones. Look forward to my new Captain America Winter Soldier review 2 years later. How do I feel about it 2 years later? Do I still love it like I did 2 years ago, or am I going to find something that I didn't notice before? Find out tomorrow. Until then, I'll see you guys next time.